Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for another episode of Relaxation Oil Painting. I have a square canvas going today, or a little bit rectangular. And what I did was I took some black gesso and I sketched in some pine trees. So this is colored with black down here and I left that white. I allowed this gesso to dry, so it's like an acrylic based paint. It dries very fast. And all that does is pre-darken the canvas. And then I left the rest untouched. Then I covered the canvas with a coat of liquid clear, which just allows this wet on wet style that Bob Ross is using, who we have playing in the background there. I am no Bob Ross, I'm just an amateur. I don't do this professionally, just paint once, maybe twice a month. For now, just sit back and relax and enjoy this episode, and let's see what we can do here on this canvas. You can see I have a full palette today of different colors, kind of earthy tones, so we'll run the colors across the screen for you. If you want to paint along with me, feel free. I'm using Bob Ross oil paints, but you can use acrylics, watercolors, even colored pencil if you want to take the time. I don't know how long this painting will take, but we'll just see what we can create from this. So what I'm doing is I'm loading in some Prussian blue into the brush here. It's very strong, dark, rich blue. Don't need much. And I'm going to go up here and put in a little bit of a background sky. So I'm just using some nice blue here. It's a beautiful color. And then as it gets lower here, it gets lighter in hue. A bit darker here. Hope everyone's doing okay with the quarantine and you're all at home enjoying yourselves as best you can. Very stressful time right now for everyone. So I really enjoy occasionally getting the paints out. Alright, that's good for that. And then I take a clean, dry 2-inch brush here. Clean it off. And I'm just going to soften this sky. I don't want any lines in it. I want it to be really far away. Smooth and silky. So I'm really blending that in nicely. Once in a while you get a little bristle on the canvas. Just use the brush itself to get it off. No worries. Okay, so we have the beginning of a dark blue sky. Now, let's see. I think I want to make a distant mountain. So, in order to do that, we're going to mix up a little bit of paint. Let's see. I just need a dark color, so what I'm just going to use is some Van Dyke brown and Prussian blue, and that should make a fairly dark color here. More blue. Okay. And I just pull this paint down flat, cut a roll of paint. And let's put in a little distant mountain kind of up high here. Ooh, let's start them. Let's move them here and move them around. Quite up. I don't want these too big. I want them pretty far away. And I don't need much here. I'll show you. a flat volcanic mountain here. Maybe we'll put one more little peak over here. I'm really only interested in the very top of the mountains. I don't need any other part highlighted or anything. Okay, so we have this basic dark color here. Scrape off the excess paint. Okay, now I take a 2-inch brush and I'm just going to pull this out. Following the lines of the mountain. Okay. And that quickly you have distant mountain. Isn't that pretty cool? It's fast. This wet on wet technique is very, very quick. Relatively speaking. I mean, Bob used to paint his in 27 minutes on PBS. But the old artists from 100, 200, 300 years ago would spend weeks and weeks on one oil painting. They would let it dry, they would go over it, they would just toil over it. But that was their living, so they could spend 8 hours a day doing that. I don't have the time to do that. Alright, let's clean off my knife. It's always good to have paper towel and cloths around if you're going to paint. This particular style of oil painting is pretty messy. Alright, I'm just going to take some titanium white here. Let's pull some down. Spread this out a bit because we're going to use this quite a bit today. And I'm just going to pull a roll of paint here, and let's go in and put some highlights, okay? Let's put them, sun will be coming from this side, so starting here, and I'm just gently touching, allowing the paint to break. Barely touching it. Following the edges of the mountain. Maybe this peak crosses over, see? Pushes that one back. It's pretty easy to do. And about where the light would strike. Okay. So that fast you have a bit of a snowy highlight. Now we go to the dark side. I'm going to take just a touch of Prussian blue and mix that with white. So I'm going to make kind of a light blue, cold color, which will be the shadow of the mountain. A bit more blue. Please be patient while I mix. I don't have a secondary camera set up on my palette, so. Alright, and from here we can go in and add the back side here. So I just touch gently. And it's a much darker color here. Obviously I changed the angle. be. So you have a light and a dark side. Just a touch more up here. That's better. Maybe that carries down here. Yeah, that's good. And let's put a little more down here. Maybe this comes down like that. Okay. Nice and easy. And then you can go back over if you want. You could put a little extra highlight at the very top if you just want a little bit extra color there. Put a little extra here. So you can layer this if you wish. Just putting a little extra highlight. Very good. Now we're going to soften the bottom. Since that's so far away, just taking the brush here and diffusing the bottom. I want this to be quite misty, far, 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 far away. Mountain. Gently brushing up. Now while I have this out, I'm going to take some pure titanium white and load up the brush. And I'm going to put in clouds here. Mist. And because white is an opaque color, it really pushes those trees back. See how I just created a huge fog bank coming in here. I really want to push that mountain far, far away. Isn't that cool? So that really pushes those trees and that mountain and that sky far, far back. And then I leave this here so that the tips are showing a little bit. And we could even go in and create a cloud here if we want. And we'll just create a little bit of a cloud across the sky. It kind of breaks up this perfectly blue sky. Maybe there's a cloud up here. Goes off the canvas. So you're just playing with these different hues. And if you want, you can go back in with the blue. Add even more darkness up here if you want. To really make that cloud stand out. It's endless what you can do with this technique. Alright, that's nice. Good. Alright, let's start to put the edge of this forest in. I haven't cleaned any brushes yet. That's okay, we can do that in a few minutes. I'm going to clean off this knife. So what do you guys do for your leisure time? Does anyone out there paint? Do you draw, or do you play piano or guitar or something? What do you guys do to relax besides watch TV and eat and have a drink or whatever you might do? What do you do that's creative? Hopefully something. Something to show people that you created this. So what I'm going to do now is take a fan brush, and I'm going to go in. I made this dark green color by using brown, Van Dyke brown, Prussian blue, sap green together. It makes a nice super dark green here. And I'm loading that up with paint. This is good for pine trees. So I come in here and I create a pine tree. Just using the fan brush. Coming down. Perhaps there's a forest back here that cuts down like this. So you can use the edge of the fan brush to make all kinds of, looks like millions of pine trees here. It's a nice cool green. It's almost like a bluish green. And I'll show you where we're going with this. I'm just blocking in color. So it looks like a forest hill coming up. Looks good how you layer it light, dark, light, dark. Let's put a big pine here. Okay, you see it? Let's put a big one up here, big one, big one, the top of the hill. Okay, and another way up next to it. Hard to reach. And leave some gaps between these. You don't want to make it too full. A lot of pine trees have branches missing near the top because they're quite a fragile tree. And we'll put one right here. just a bit crooked. Coming down. Hard to see, I know, on the camera, but it's cool because I have the green against the black and it shows nicely. And those trees way in the back look so far away. Half a mile or more, you know. Let's have that like this. Alright, let's clean off a 2-inch brush here. Using paint thinner, odorless paint thinner. And I have a little bucket that I'm wiping it in. Bang off the excess. And I have a trash can next to me with an old towel in it to beat off the brush here. Okay. Take this and diffuse. So I'm going to carry this down and just soften the bottom. Just softening this up. Mist, making a mist back here. Okay. Can even grab a little bit of white and add more mist down here. Far, far away. Okay, let's put some mist here. I'm just blending this out. Lifting gently here. Creates the illusion of pine trees, okay? Alright, looking good so far. We have a basic structure of the background. Now let's see. I'm going to add some darkness back to the middle. So what I'm going to do is scrape in darkness here. Like that. Now I'm going to wipe off the excess paint here. Taking off the excess. Let's take a clean fan brush and let's go into some blue, a little bit of phthalo blue and white. A nice light blue color here. More white. And just loading up the brush here. That's a nice blue. Okay. And perhaps back here comes. Here she comes. Here she comes, right out of the forest here. Can you see her now? Can you guess what I'm making here? See the waterfalls coming, the river. So the river goes this way, pulls over, and pulls down, down, into the darkness. Softening the bottom. Continuing. And we'll block this in a moment. Actually, I think I'll stop there for the second. I'll put a little more up flat here. We don't know where this comes from. Maybe way back there. I hope you can see that coming through. Everyone see it so far? Now I haven't put any highlight yet. We're just getting the structure of this waterfall coming through. Now on the left I want to make a nice mid-green. Use this dirty brush here. Let's see, let's use sap green, just grabbing it right on the brush, and some yellow. So this is a warmer green, base color, dark but much warmer. I'm just loading it up. Touch more yellow here. This will be our hills, our grassy hills here. Okay. And let's come in here and start to create a different color. This is where we start to brighten up the canvas a bit, changing the colors. A little yellow ochre on the other side. I'm adding different colors every time I hit the canvas because I want to keep the colors changing here. See what that does is it just sets that it sets that river in nicely in the back. Okay. Now I'm going to take a script liner brush if I have one. Here's one that could work. Going into a little paint thinner and a little bit of white and brown. Just making kind of a lightish brown, grayish color of trees and wood. I'm just going to go in and create a bit of a highlight on these trees back here. In a minute I'm going to highlight these trees, but I want a little bit of a trunk in there, otherwise they're just too soft. Okay. Now find another fan brush here. If I have one, this will work. I'm going to go into a touch of liquid white. This liquid white here loosens the paint up. So we have a thick paint underneath and a thinner paint on the top. Now make a nice bright green here. Not too bright, but thinner paint. Just working it into the bristles here. And I'm just going to lightly highlight these pines just a bit. Pine trees are pretty dark trees, so I'm not going to put too much. I don't want to kill all that dark space there. Ooh, that's good. I like that pine in the dark here. Let's do the other side. I'm switching from right to left-handed so that you guys can see. Yes. Good. Carry that back far, far away. That instantly pushes that river back. Sometimes the fan brush gives a nice texture of grass. Now, around the river, we have to add some dark brown stones or the illusion of darkness because the river is light on light. So let's use a filbert brush. Okay. Going into some brown here. And I'm just going to add in a couple of stones back here. This is detail work. What it does is just recess the river down into the ground more. Ooh, that looks good. I hope you can see that in the camera, the outline. Maybe there's a stone here under the waterfall. Just using straight Van Dyke brown. This is the dirt, the rock that has eroded over the years. Comes down. Yeah, that looks good. A bit too straight. Let's change that. Yeah, that's better. Yes. While we're at it, let's do this. Let's try something. I'm going to add some dark. Well, it already is dark. Let's do this. Let's pull in some Van Dyke brown here. Knife. Take some Van Dyke brown and white, maybe a little bit of the yellow ochre. make a marbled highlight here. Let's see what happens if I just highlight these stones a bit. Maybe there's a cliff there. Goes over. And maybe there's one here too, kind of highlights here. See the cliff? Now, this is another fan brush here going in. We have several fan brushes going. Using some straight titanium white, I'm going to add some glisten and highlight to the water here. Yeah, that's nice. Let's do this. Let's highlight this waterfall right there. We'll finish that in a minute. I just want to get those highlights in there. It's good. All right. Okay, let's go back into the dark. I have so many brushes going. Back into the brown. And we'll fix this here. This should be dark again. You don't have to do all this obvious detail and layer. You can make this much more simple. I'm just having fun because what is this? It's practice. The more we practice, you know, the better you get over time. God knows I need a lot of time to get better. But hey, we have the time, right? Why not practice? And if I cover up a lot of this, it's okay. It's okay, just practice, have fun. Okay, I like that there. So now let's go in and put some more highlights on that grass, and I'll show you what we do now. I'm purposely not washing these brushes because I have a feeling I'm going to use them again. Let's go in and grab this. And start to push some of this back. I thought I had a 2-inch brush. Let's use this one. I'm going to go back into this dark green here and shape this hill because this would be very dark down here. See? This part would be dark. As would over here. Again, what I love about this technique is how you can add light and dark and layer it. Put shadows in where you think the sun wouldn't be shining. And each one you do adds another layer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 layers of depth. Looks like you could go walking forever. Now let's make a leaf tree right here. And another here. Changing up the type of trees we have. And there's one right here. Good. And we'll highlight those in a minute. Just scraping in a couple of trunks. And use this brown brush and take just a touch of white. And making a nice green, golden green here. I'm just adding a touch of a highlight here. hedges on the edge here. Good. Now, hope you're not asleep yet from boredom. Let's use white here. Get back to the fan brush. Titanium white. And that blue. Finish that river. See? Alright, now let's clean up. Now, I'm going to put in a couple of large trees because I really want to frame that mountain. This is too plain to me. So watch this. A lot of this will be covered up, but this is my composure. Excuse me, my composition. So I take a fan brush. It's a Van Dyke brown, dark colors here. A little bit of Prussian blue, a little bit of green. Dark color. And I'm going to put in a tree right here. And I'm going to put another one right here. Maybe it's the same tree. And it comes down. Whoa. Nice V-shaped tree. And there's one here. See how that pushes it all back beautifully? Here's a branch. And a third here. And there's a branch here. And here. Now we got some big trees. You see everybody? And there's one right on the edge. Ooh, a big sucker. He's thick. Maybe he comes down farther. He's down to here. See what we're doing here? So we're creating forest to push it back. Now I don't want to get too many branches in. I do want to put a couple if I can. So let's see if the script liner works at all. Yeah, it does, somewhat. Works somewhat. I'm going to cover most of this up in a moment. Now let's highlight these. Using a palette knife. Let's use the same color I used for here. And on this side, use my right hand. Just touching the edge. Creates a nice bark effect. What's cool is you can go back later and actually feel the texture of the bark on these trees when it dries. I sure hope you can see these details. I know you're quite far away. Yeah, looks good. A little bit more here. Nice. Okay. So the bases of those are done. Now let's add in some colored leaves. I'm going to change my mind. I'm not going to use green. I'm going to use red. I'll show you what I'm going to do. This is going to be bold, my friends. Bold, bold, bold. Where is my bright red? Here. Alright, give me a second to mix this up. Let us put bright red. Good. And a touch of green. So this is kind of a peach red, some green in there, some yellow, orange. Just mixing this up, loading a lot into the brush here. This is really going to make the painting pop, but I want to try it because I think green is a bit boring. So let's add some flower trees here. Leaves. And let's just touch. Yeah. Good. That light is right in my eyes. I should have. That's why I wear my hat. See? Oh, I like it. That's a nice color. Okay, let's do this. I like it. Let's go to the bottom, get more of this dark green. And let's put the base of the tree here. Sit this nicely on a hill. In the shadows. This is shadow back here. Cleans up the foot of that tree. Grass here along the edge, hanging over. Grass here. Hanging over. And let's say it comes down the hill. All the way to the base of the water. Same over here. Comes down. See? Okay, down there. Highlight. Green. Yellow. Yellow ochre. Beautiful. Beautiful grasses coming down here. Nice. Nice colors, huh? Let's change this hue a bit, a little gold. Want a little brightness to the middle. Like flowers or something. Ooh, That's nice. I like that white. Yeah, it looks like flowers in the field. Good. Now, let's finish with this. Just using that blue to clean up the edges of the water. Where it meets the land. I like that. See? And we can go in and add just a touch more of a splash down here. There the rapids are. A little bit of a splash. Cool. Now we can go in and highlight. Watch this. I'm not done. I'm going to clean this brush. Are you guys asleep yet out there? What are you guys doing? Waiting to see where this mess goes. It is... where will this end? Don't know. I don't know. All right, let's highlight this. Load up that brush. Okay. And let's touch here. See? And maybe there's a little bit more down at the bottom here. Maybe there's a couple of these pink flowers coming through the field here. That breaks up that green. A couple over here. And maybe a couple even grow here. Just the most gentle touch, because I don't want to kill all of these colors in here. Alright, I think that's pretty good right there. Let's leave it at that. I could go on and I may come back to it. But we have a basic idea. Mountain, fog, background trees, bright leafy trees in the front, nice waterfall and river there. There it is, a quick painting. I don't know how long that was. It went a bit longer than I thought, but it's okay. There you go. I don't know the name of it yet, but we'll come up with one. But that will brighten up someone's room very nicely, won't it? Certainly looks like somewhere in Colorado, Montana perhaps, but maybe even Washington State, I don't know. Or New Hampshire, Vermont. Beautiful places I've been. Maine, northern Massachusetts, northern New York perhaps, who knows. But there you go. Alright, this is Todd Norcross on behalf of the master, Bob Ross over there, who has inspired me since I was a child. And I'm so happy to see him more popular now than ever. He was truly a craftsman. People used to make fun of him all the time. Quote unquote real artists used to make fun of him and call him a hack, but now look at him. Well, after his death, 20, 30, 40 years later, he is still going strong. Sometimes if I go on Twitch, he has 2,000 to 3,000 people always watching him live somewhere around the world. And he's all over the television, all over public broadcasting. He's just a wonderful, nice man, like Mr. Rogers, you know. There's a few of those around that can be real role models to children and adults alike. And in this hectic time, he has a very soothing voice. And he just makes you feel like everything's going to be all right. So I really am always thankful for watching Bob Ross with my father when I was a young kid. And then I picked up painting when I was a child. And I get to still, even many decades later, play around on canvases and see what I can come up with. And no, they'll never be great, but just creating something out of nothing, out of a blank canvas, is really, really fulfilling. So I encourage anyone out there, all of you watching, if you can pick up a brush, you can paint. We'll see you guys next time on Relaxation Oil Painting. Bye-bye.